Okay, so for week 1, we are going to talk about nouns and pronouns. A noun is a person, place, thing, or idea. There are several different types of nouns. So we have common, proper, abstract, concrete, compound, collective, count, and non-count. Common nouns. This is a noun that we use most of the time. We think of a common noun. It is a thing. It is a noun that it can be any person, place, thing, or idea. When it is common, we do not capitalize it. It is always lowercase. Okay? So for example, when we talk about a person, we could talk about a firefighter. We're not naming that person, so it's just in general firefighter. Same thing with town and book. On the other side of common nouns, we have proper nouns. Now, a proper noun names that person, place, or thing. Because it is a name, we always capitalize it. Just because, just like it is your name and your name is important because you are important, we also capitalize all names of things, okay? So our firefighter is named Chief Wilson. So we now can say Chief Wilson is a firefighter, and that is the proper noun, Chief Wilson. Same thing with Kansas City. It is the name of that town. Where the red fern grows, it is the name of the book. When we look at common versus proper, commons are going to be like, oh, it's a teacher. It is a cookie, that type of thing. When we're doing proper, it is the name of that something or the brand name of something. So Mr. Davis, Chips Ahoy, Clover County High School, the United States. When we're talking about classifying nouns, a noun will either be common or it will be proper. It is never both at the same time. Okay, it is either or. Abstract nouns are a noun that is something that is intangible, meaning you cannot touch it. Okay, that's what intangible means. You cannot see, taste, smell, touch, or hear abstract nouns. Okay, nothing that with your 5 senses. Example, love, or courage, or knowledge. Okay? On the other side of abstract, we have concrete. When I think about concrete nouns, I think of like putting my foot on concrete sidewalk because my foot is touching it. Concrete nouns are something that you can experience with your 5 senses. Okay? So lightning, you can see it. Thunder, you hear it. Ice cream, you can touch, taste it, and even smell it. Okay? So when you're talking about abstract versus concrete, just like it is proper or common, a noun can never be both abstract and concrete at the same time. An abstract noun, remember, is something that is intangible. A concrete noun is something that you can experience with your 5 senses. It will always be either abstract or concrete, never both. Compound nouns are nouns that contain 2 or more words that join together to make a single noun. There are 3 types of compound nouns. So you have your closed form, hyphenated, and your open form. For an example, a board game is a compound noun. Board game is an open form of a compound noun, and we're going to talk about the differences in the forms in the next slide. So, when we think about closed form, think about closing that gap. There is no space between the 2 words. So dog and house are smushed together to make doghouse as a closed form compound noun. However, when you're thinking about son-in-law or over the counter, they have hyphens in between them, those little dashes. It's called a hyphen. That means that they are connected, but they're not smushed together. They have a space. So they are hyphenated compound nouns, okay? But they mean one thing. Open form is a little tricky because you never know if it's actually referring to one thing or 2. But when we think about certain ones, like post office, we automatically know, oh, post office is one building. It is one noun. We are going to the post office. It just has that open form because it has that space between the 2 words, okay? So closed form, no spaces. Hyphenated has little hyphens in them, and then open form has one singular space between the two words to make one noun. Collective nouns are nouns that have a group of things and people, but it names only one group. So a family consists of several people, but it is one family, okay? One group, one majority, one team, one class. When you think about collective nouns, because it is only talking about one group of people, you have to think about it as a singular noun and not a plural noun. And we'll get into this a little bit more. But when we think about singular versus plural nouns, you have to make sure that whatever your subject is, your noun is, that it is, if it's singular, then whatever verb or pronoun that you use in that sentence is also singular. So, for example, when you think about a collective noun, the family held its reunion at the park. The family is singular, held its is also singular. Okay? You have to make sure that it agrees with its form. Now, count nouns is another one of those ones that is either one or the other. It cannot be both. A count noun is a noun in which you can add a number to the front of it and add an S at the end of it, and it still makes sense. So pig and pigs and cake and cakes. She baked a cake. She baked 5 cakes. You add that number and the S to the end, and it makes sense. Non-count nouns, you cannot do that. It has a singular form. When you think about music, you can't say 5 musics. It doesn't make sense in the English language. Or 3 rices. It does not work. So just like common and proper, and just like abstract and concrete, a noun can also only be count or non-count. It can never be both at the same time. So non-counts have that singular form, and count, you can add a number to it and an S on the end, and it makes sense. We're going to go through and classify some nouns so we can have some practice. Okay? So, when I was talking about classifying nouns, all the nouns can be these 5 things. Common or proper, abstract or concrete, count or non-count. It could also be compound. It could also be collective. Compound and collective, they don't have a counterpart. They don't have an either or, okay? Only common and proper, only abstract or concrete, or count or non-count. So let's think about ninja. Ninja is probably what? Is it the name of something? No. So we think it automatically needs to be common. Could we touch a ninja? If we can't, then it's going to be abstract. If we can, it's going to be concrete. We can touch a ninja. It's a person, right? Can we add a number in front of it and an S on the end of it and it make sense? So 4 ninjas. Yeah, that makes sense. So we know it is a count noun. And then if it is made up of more than one word, we know it is a compound noun. However, compound, is ninja made up of more than one word? No. So it is not a compound noun. Would ninja be talking about a group of people as one thing? No. It is a singular person, so it is not collective. Okay? Friendship. Would it be common or proper? Would it be abstract or concrete? Count or non-count? Would it be compound? Would it be a collective? Take a second. So this is a common noun. It is abstract because yes, you have friends and you can touch your friends, but the idea of friendship is not something that you can touch. I will tell you that most of the time, if your noun is an idea, it is most likely abstract. Okay? It is count because you can have multiple friendships, 5 friendships. Okay? It is compound because you have the word friend and the word ship. This is the form, a closed form of the noun, of the compound noun. And it is not collective because it's not talking about more than one thing. It's talking about one thing. All right, ice, is it common or proper? Abstract or concrete? Count or non-count? Compound, or is it collective? It is common. It is concrete. It is a non-count noun. It is not a compound because it's one word, and it is not collective. What about ice cube? Is it common or proper? Abstract or concrete? Count or non-count? Compound, is it collective? It is common, concrete, count. It's not a collective, but it is compound. It is the open form of a compound noun. What about Dr. Mason? It is proper because it's a name. Concrete because we could touch a doctor. It is count because you could say 5 Dr. Masons and it makes sense. However, I don't think that we would have 5 Dr. Masons in one area. It is not compound because even though it has 2 words in it, it is one person. It is a title, so it is not compound. And it is not collective. All right, love is going to be common. Remember, it's an idea, so it's going to be abstract. It is non-count. It is not compound, and it is not collective. Flock, this one's a little different. So it is a common noun. It is an abstract noun because the idea of a flock, it is not a thing that you can actually touch. It is a non-count noun. It is not compound, however, it is a collective noun. And then you have grapefruit. It is a common noun. It is concrete because we can touch one. It is count because we can add a number in front of it and an S on the end and it makes sense. It is compound because it is 2 different words making up one noun. It is the closed form of compound nouns, but it is not collective.